back at it again, Scott Spencer. You know what time it is. It's time for the 5th installment of the top 100 East Texas players of 2024. Have you last couple of weeks, you've seen the first 40. About to get into 60 through 51 here today. First team all district selections only. Had to be first team all district, and then at that point I grade the highlight tape, and then wherever you line up by your grade is where you land on the list. So that's how it got done, and let's get into number 60 with no more further ado. At number 60, a senior wide receiver / cornerback from Jefferson, Texas, Jakari Johnson. And Jakari Johnson had a big year as a number 2 receiver out there in Jefferson, 33 catches, 657 yards, and had averaged 19.9 yards per catch. So he's an explosive play every time he catches the ball, basically on offense. Had a great game against Malakoff. Had a pick 6 in the game, and then he also had the long touchdown reception in the game as well. You know, Chris Love is the dude out there in Jefferson and receiver, but Jakari Johnson is the beneficiary of having a guy where you have to probably spend a little extra attention to. Jefferson had a crazy offense this year in Cameron Williams, the running back, Chris Jefferson, and then Chris Love, the receiver, and then of course the quarterback Tomias Taylor as well. And then Jakari Johnson is also one of those stars blinking over there in Jefferson, as he did it on both sides of the ball, fast, instinctual, just an all-around great year from a really good football player. At number 60, Jakari Johnson. At number 59, a two-way player in Longview from Pine Tree, the senior offensive lineman / defensive lineman, Peyton Davis. Dude is nasty as they come up front. He's a very smart football player. He played all 5 positions at one point in this season, which is a very, very difficult thing to do. Coming from a guy that played center and left tackle in my career, is to be able to play all 5 positions in one season just kind of lets you know how well in tune he was with the offense and with his techniques, and just a really good football player. And then on the other side of the football, he lines up and he can play damn near every position on the defensive line as well. He can rush from the outside, sparingly. He's a big body. You don't want him out there all the time, but he definitely can play the 3-tech or the nose guard, as you see him doing on his highlight tape. So a very impressive year from a 3-year starter out there in Pine Tree, Peyton Davis, number 59. At number 58, one of the livest tight ends in East Texas to just watch play, Knox Pilgrim. The senior tight end from Texas High, had 17 catches for 392 yards. He averaged 23.1 yards per catch. So just a big play every time he catches the ball. 5 touchdowns. He is a great run blocker as well. It's kind of the same things that you got out of Justin Illingworth at number 90. You get with Knox Pilgrim, but this guy had an opportunity to catch the ball a little bit more than them, and he definitely made a bunch of plays, a bunch of plays this year for Texas High. Texas High, real similar to how we were describing Jefferson. Just offensive weapons everywhere. Trey Ball, the running back Javari Johnson, and then on the outside Shavante. On the outside you've got Cam Reitner, and then of course dominating the middle of the field is the tight end Knox Pilgrim. And production, but can't argue what Texas High does year in and year out. Full of athletes and one of the best teams repeatedly in East Texas. At number 58, Knox Pilgrim. At number 57, a junior dual threat quarterback from White Oak, it is Jackson Ludlow. And Ludlow had a great year statistically. He threw for 2,103 yards, 23 touchdowns and 7 picks. He also ran it 113 times for 875 yards and 11 touchdowns as well. So a big producer for the White Oak offense this year. Not a guy that's got a whole lot of talent around him. He kind of is a makeshift player. He's going to do so. He's like a poor man Manziel. He kind of reminds me a lot of Michael Ross from Harmony and Longview, who played back in 2014 and 2015. And just a guy that just makes a lot of plays, a very accurate thrower of the football, and then a very shifty and gritty runner, a guy that can finish against some of the lesser talents that he's playing. He can finish a lot of those long runs, but even if he was playing at a higher classification, he would still be an effective runner. I like his tape, and I like the way he played. At number 56, a senior quarterback out of Longview from Pine Tree, Matthew M.J. Cates. M.J. Cates comes here at number 56, a 3-year starter from Pine Tree. Been watching this kid the last 3 years. He's a really good football player. and the highlights say so themselves. The numbers aren't as great. I don't think this is his full. It might be his full stats. Matthew missed a lot of games this year. I keep calling him Matthew like I know him. MJ missed a lot of games this year, but he still threw for over 1,300 yards, rushed for 231 yards, 13 pass touchdowns to 3 rushing touchdowns, and really part of the reason why Pine Tree was 10-2 was because of the senior quarterback that they had back there. A lot of experience, a lot of savvy, allowed him to make a lot of plays. It didn't dominate games at times. Just statistically, he's not going to dominate games, but he's a guy that's going to continue to make that play in that moment. And unfortunately, got hurt. Would have loved to see Pine Tree with their senior quarterback down the end of the season in the playoffs, playing against Stafford. They had it up front. Pine Tree was good up front. They had good receivers on the outside. They had a decent running game. Defensively, they were nasty. They had a good secondary, had a good defensive line. They had one of the best linebackers in East Texas. So it would have been great to see what Pine Tree could have done with MJ Case playing the entire year. But unfortunately, don't get an opportunity. And I think that's partially why you see MJ Case land here at number 56. At number 55, senior defensive end, offensive compared to number 55, because he's just a dominant football player. Watching them in the state championship game on both sides of that many snaps on no matter what level of classification of football you're playing at. He's disruptive on defense, got a great hands, he's got great speed in his hands, he's always got his eyes in the correct places, makes play after play. He's part of I think he is the best defensive lineman maybe up there in Carthage, just because of how much he plays on the offensive side of the ball. He's not even doing that fresh, and he's probably the top tackler getter on that defensive line. Really is a monster on both sides of the ball and on the high school level, and I believe he had a tremendous senior season, landing here at number 55. At number 54, staying in those trenches, the junior offensive lineman, can't even say guard anymore, offensive lineman from Lindale, it is Cameron Griffin. And you talk about a monster, you talk about this dude. This guy is built like a guard or center, and he's a little on the shorter side. I think at just 6 foot, and I'm talking about from a prospect level in height. He's not 6'3", 6'4", like you would want those guards to be. He's kind of a wider body. He's definitely an interior lineman, really more so built like a nose guard at the college level, but just me talking. But man, you talk about nasty and the ability to play tackle, even with his body. He doesn't play like his body would, you would think it would. Tackles are slender guys and they're taller because they play with those ends. This guy can kick slide with the best of them. He's nasty. He's gonna put you on the ground. He's a physical finisher, and just a guy that I enjoy watching, and glad I got another year to watch him. We'll see how high he climbs up the list next year. At number 53, a senior from Carthage, the defensive lineman, Braylon Addison. And Braylon Allison is just nasty up front. He's really probably the best offensive guard in East Texas, because the way he plays defense is just like how you would want your ideal offensive lineman to play. It's just me being that O-line coach. But no, Braylon is amazing. You can't stop him with one person. He's going to drive his defender backwards. He's going to hold it to his point at the line of scrimmage. He's nasty. He's got a mean first step. He's got a great punch. He's going to take the running back and destroy him any chance he gets. He can run you down. He's a part of a very, very, very scary part of the defensive for Carthage in that defensive line. Just those huge people up front with him, Morrow, Hodges, and then you've got those linebackers behind them. This is what I don't know, between Longview, Kilgore, and Carthage. I don't know who had the best defense, but we had 3 amazing defenses, and Braylon Addison is one of the main reasons why Carthage was so nasty and so physical and so upfront in 2024. At number 53, Braylon Allison. At number 52, one of the many beneficiaries of playing behind a guy like Braylon Allison at 53 is a junior outside linebacker from Carthage, Carson Crawford, and what an amazing year he had as well. 91 tackles, 22 tackles for loss, 9 sacks, 4 fumbles forced, and then 2 defensive touchdowns, as well as also playing some tight end and catching a couple of passes from just right on the other side of the ball as well. Carson Crawford, for as much love as Quebec is, and Quebec is an amazing athlete, and you'll see him on this list as well. If you like Quee, I don't know how you don't like Carson. They look like twins on the field. They're both 6'3"-ish. They're both over 215, 20 pounds. They both fly around the field. They both make amazing plays. They both can get sacks. They're both just too hard to get outside and get around. And Carthage has it at that second level, and Carson Crawford also kind of a first level player too when he's on the edge. It's just an outstanding football player. Really good athlete, plays with a swagger, plays with the savvy, and just going to be fun to see how good he gets between this year and next year. And at number 51, the senior wide receiver from White House, it is Lane Hooker. Lane Hooker had 33 catches for 581 receiving yards, 5 touchdowns at 17.6 yards per catch. Makes great tough over-the-shoulder catches. Then Lane just had an incredible senior year when he got the opportunity, when it presented itself. Watch him go up in the end zone, contested catch, guy all over him, makes a great one-handed snag. Here he is against Hallsville. He's going to run by this DB, go up, another incredible go up, catch the ball in traffic, snag play. I mean, his numbers aren't going to blow you, skills don't necessarily blow you away, but when you watch the catches that he makes, the contested catches in traffic with people all over him, I believe he is one of the best wide receivers in East Texas this year, based off his performance. And here he is pushing off on that out route, getting by. I might be slow, but I'm fast enough, and that's another touchdown. So you just see it in Lane. He's just a consistent playmaker. Bigger and better year, but nonetheless, I think he's one of those talented players that comes up here at number 51, Lane Hooker.